There are a few tricks that you can use for working with devices in Reason's Rack a bit more effectively. When you create any device, if I drag it from the browser here into the rack and spin the rack around by pressing the Tab key, you will see that that device has automatically been routed to a mix channel and then onto the mixer. And a lot of the time that's what you'll want, because when you create an instrument you want to be able to play it, you want to have it routed into the mixer. If for any reason you don't want it to be automatically routed, you have a couple of options. I'll just undo that. So away goes my device. This time I'll drag the same device, but I will hold the Shift key as I drag and drop it. And what you can see is it hasn't been assigned a mix channel device. And again, if I hit the Tab key, you can see the outputs haven't been automatically routed. And there are one or two reasons why you might want to do that. Perhaps you might want to send these audio outputs to the main hardware out at the top for routing directly to a hardware mixer or something like that. If you then decide actually that that was the wrong thing to do, with the device selected, you can go up to the Edit menu and you can choose Auto Route Device. And that just reinstates the automatic routing. It assigns a mix channel to that device and sends it on to the main mixer. There are some other options here in the Edit menu that you can see with the device selected. As well as cutting and copying, you've got Delete and Duplicate. Select all the devices in the rack. That's something that's occasionally useful. You're able to disconnect a device here. So the mix channel remains, but the device is no longer connected to it. And you're also able to reset the device. Now this is quite a useful thing to know about, because let's say for example you want to create a synth patch from scratch. When you load any device, it has a default patch loaded in Reason. So if you wanted to reset all the parts of a device to 0, you could just select Reset Device. And then it goes back to Initial Patch, which you can see here, and that works for any device. If I wanted to reset this instance of Thor, I could just go Edit, Reset Device, gets rid of all its settings. I'll talk about the combinator in a lot more detail later, but there's a shortcut for combining devices. Let's say, for example, if you wanted to build a multi-synthesizer, a multi-instrument, a split and layered instrument, you can quickly place multiple devices inside a combinator without having to create one first and then drag them in, which you can also do, but this is quicker. If you want to do this, select more than one device, and then either right-click and choose Combine, or go to the Edit menu and choose Combine from there. And you can see that when I do that, it's placed those two devices inside a combinator. If I just undo that, it's important to know that you can't place these mixed channel devices inside a combinator for some reason. So if I was to select that mixed channel device as well, and then go to Edit, my Combine option is not available. So that only works with instrument and effect devices, not the mixed channels that are assigned to them. There's another interesting option available via the Edit menu or the right-click menu, which is, if I just right-click, which is to select all in a device group, and that's quite useful when you've got a device with various things attached to it, like effects. If I select this, you can see that it selects the Thor synth and the mixed channel device as well. So if I wanted to move that, I could move them both down at the same time. Let's say I added an effect unit and then did the same thing, right click on it and choose Select All in Device Group. You can see that it now selects all the modules that are associated with that instrument. So that's just a quick guide of how to work with devices in the rack.